16 Youth, it's Izzy here, and today looks a bit different. There's only 2 of us, when previous weeks there's been 4, but we have finished our Philippians series, and the next 3 weeks we are looking at 3 big parts of the Easter story and how we can apply it to our lives as Christians. So this week we're starting off with Palm Sunday, which just so happens to be next week, but that's okay. We're preparing you and getting you ready for it. Today I'm joined with Chris. Chris, tell people who you are, what you do, just in case they don't know.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris. I am the ripe old age of 28 and I spend my days working for KCC, looking after our kind of worship team and the music stuff and the production stuff that we do here. So yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And today's video is titled Be the Donkey, which is a bit of a funny one, but it will all make sense once we've read the passage and picked out the points and how it applies to our life. So Chris is just going to read our passage for us.
Yeah, so Matthew 21 says, as Jesus and the disciples approached Jerusalem, they came to the town of Bethphage on the Mount of Olives. Jesus sent 2 of them on ahead. Go into the village over there, he said. As soon as you enter it, you'll see a donkey tied there with its colt beside it. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone asks what you are doing, just say, the Lord needs them, and he will immediately let you take them. This took place to fulfill the prophecy that said, tell the people of Jerusalem, look, your king is coming to you. He is humble, riding on a donkey, riding on a donkey's colt. The 2 disciples did as Jesus commanded. They brought the donkey and the colt to him and threw their garments over the colt, and he sat on it. Most of the crowd spread their garments on the road ahead of him, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road.
Thanks, Chris. So the first point that I'm going to pick out from the passage is that the obedience of the donkey. First, the disciples were obedient. They went and did as Jesus said and got the donkey. And then the donkey carried Jesus through the crowds. He didn't stand still and say, not today, Jesus, I'm going to just sit and chill here. But he carried him without a fuss. And yet I don't think the donkey would have been really excited to carry a heavy man through huge crowds. Later on in the passage, people were singing, people were shouting, and I'm sure the donkey would have just fancied sitting, chilling and eating. And that's not what he did. He was obedient to what Jesus wanted. For us, we sometimes have to be obedient to what Jesus wants us to do or to what the Bible says, even if it's something that we don't necessarily want to do. Whether it is something small like respecting our parents, which sometimes can be tricky, but that's what the Bible tells us to do. Or it could be something huge, like moving across the world because you feel that that's what God is telling you in your own life. As followers of Christ, we should follow what the Bible says, but also be listening to God, praying and listening to what he's telling us to do in life and be obedient to what he says. So a bit of testimony. For me, I moved to Southampton. I'm actually from Essex, but I felt God saying, you should go to KCC and do the internship. And before this, I'd said, I'm going to stay at home with my mum and dad. It's where I feel safe. It's where I feel comfortable. I've got friends here. I like it. But actually, I felt God say, no, push that door open. So I thought, right, I'll ask some questions, but I probably won't move. And then I thought, right, I've been offered an interview. I'll go to the interview, but I probably won't move. Had my interview with Chris. And actually, I felt, right, okay, I think God is telling me that this is where I need to be. And I was obedient. I listened. I moved. It was really scary, but actually many blessings, many opportunities came around, and I've enjoyed every minute and actually decided to stick around. And actually, God knows better than we do. He's going to talk to us and tell us things that at first we might think, I really don't want to do that, or I really don't think that's for me, God. Maybe that's not God talking to me. But actually, if we feel like it's God, it probably is, and we should be listening and obedient to what he wants us to do in life. We should be like the donkey. We should be obedient. We should do as God says, because he knows best. He knows much better than anyone else. Chris, have you ever had anything that you haven't wanted to do that you felt God tell you to?
Good question. Well, first, we were very pleased that you were obedient, Izzy, because you had a great internship last year. It was great to have you. Yeah, mine would actually be really similar to yours, Izzy, in that I am married to Caroline. You might know her, you might not know her. We were living in Liverpool, and we're really, really happy there, really settled. And yeah, all of our friends were there. I was a season ticket holder at the best football team in the world. We were happy as could be. And then, yeah, we felt God tell us that actually it's time for us to move to Southampton. And, you know, there were so many reasons of why we didn't necessarily want to, but actually when God speaks, the only real option is to be obedient to what he says. So yeah, interesting. It's really similar to yours, actually. And the second point, just to pull out from the passage that we read, is that in being the donkey, the role of the donkey wasn't to draw attention to itself, but was to lift Jesus up and put all the attention and focus on Jesus. And actually, just strikes me that's actually a lot what it's like for us to do when we serve. I remember when I was probably about 17 or 18, somebody said to me, serving is not a stepping stone to greatness. Serving is greatness itself. And I think that really struck me at the time and has lived and stayed with me. I think we can often get caught thinking that I'll serve, and I've been asked to serve in this job in church, or do this job, and maybe if I do a good job at that, maybe then I'll get noticed, and maybe then I'll be asked to do something bigger and better, and then maybe if I do a good job at that, maybe I'll then get to do the thing I really want to do. And I spend my time leading worship, so you can often get caught thinking that if leading worship on Zoom for a little meeting, or if I do a good job at that, maybe I'll get to do a bigger meeting, and then maybe one day I'll get to do the stage at the Hedge End Auditorium, and it's that can be the temptation for what we think of. But serving isn't a stepping stone towards the great thing that we want to happen. Serving in any way is greatness itself. So whatever it is that you feel as though you have to give, whatever role you're being asked to play, for the donkey it was just to have Jesus on his back and lift him up on high. That is greatness in itself. And actually, our role in whatever we're doing in serving is to point to Jesus and give him the glory, whether that is something that's really public and up the front, or whether that's something that's actually just between you and God. He knows what's in your heart. Man looks on the outward appearance, but actually God looks at the heart, doesn't he? So our role in everything and in serving is to lift up Jesus and put everyone's attention onto him.
Yeah, amazing. And I think it's also really hard when you put lots of effort in, isn't it? I remember as an intern working super hard during the week and then thinking, right, it's an hour on a Sunday, and I worked so hard for that. But do you know what? It wasn't for me. It's not because I want to get all the thanks, but actually I'm putting all this work in so that people can worship Jesus, so that people can experience God, and that is amazing. So thank you so much for that, Chris. That is our 2 points for today. So yeah, be more like the donkey in the passage from Palm Sunday. We really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, because the next 2 weeks will be on Good Friday and Easter Sunday with more important points for us in our everyday life now. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.